My name is Lois Red Elk, and I was born and raised here on the Fort Peck Assiniboine Sioux Reservation. Once upon a wolf, for Grandma Louise. I lay looking at the log wall, parallel to the length of the bed, and run my fingers along the frost between the logs. Quickly, I feel for safe warmth coming from under the patchwork quilts covering my body. I wonder about the cold trying to come into the house. The wind singing in the chimney sounded like an echo from the wolf I heard last summer. Maybe it was the wolf trying to come into Grandma's warm house, talking to me through the gusts of wind. If I listened carefully, the high whine was like words slipping in our deep woods from branch to branch. Snow and frost covered the area where the wolf lived. I knew he was there, under the rocks above the creek. Maybe if I shut my eyes real tight and dreamed real hard, the wolf would come to the door, and I would let him in so he could warm up near the fire. When I got up, the meal was already set on the table. Grandma was busy making herself coffee. I sat daydreaming, the sound of the howl still ringing in the story in my mind. Grandma asked how I slept, and I told her I thought I heard a wolf, and I wanted to watch out the window. It was a dreamlike morning, where a sparse light from the slow southern sun pried its way into the windows. The angle cast uneven shadows across the room. She put a quilt around me as I sat spooning the oatmeal and staring out the window, hoping for some kind of recognizable image to appear among the bare choke cherries. Maybe like a large, shaggy wolf. Grandma sat looking at me and smiled. She said the wolves are taking care of their own family and are nice and warm in their thick, furry coats. After breakfast, I got dressed and followed her around the house, still curious about the wolves. She said she would tell me a story later about a woman who got lost and the wolves saved her. Satisfied with that, I sat and I helped her comb out her long braids, and then we washed dishes. Again, the howling swept through the chimney, and I thought about being lost and a friendly wolf finding me and keeping me warm. Grandma said she had a piece of tin and was going to ask Grandpa to wrap it around the chimney so the snow wouldn't float in. As I wiped the bowls and spoons, Grandma came back from feeding the horses. Grandpa came back from feeding the horses. He said he saw a lot of deer tracks in the brush and was going to go out and get a deer. I told him, "You have to wrap some tin around the chimney because the snow is coming in." He laughed and said he'd take care of it when he come back. All afternoon, Grandma sewed. She put patches on Grandpa's pants and patches on the blankets. I wondered how far Grandpa had to go to get the deer and thought about the wolves. Maybe he would see them and let me know what they were doing. When Grandpa got back, I was sound asleep. and I didn't see the deer and the porcupine he brought back. When I woke up, I smelled bread and soup and something sweet. Grandma had made a pie. I told her I had a dream about a wolf drinking water from the creek. She smiled and said, Grandpa saw a wolf by the creek drinking water, and he expected it to run away, but it just stopped, watched him, and then slowly trotted away. I was thinking, that was my wolf, the one I had heard that morning. I shared that with Grandma. Again, she smiled and said, it probably was.